Nick! Nick! Nick Van Owen! Welcome everyone to In-Depth Reviews. We have another in-depth review for you today. The Lost World Jurassic Park Nick Van Owen no hat variant, complete with Pteranodon and his water spraying jetpack, which is already loaded. We're going to get to that in a second. I got this figure from SGZ Collectibles. They are a retro and pop culture eBay store. I will provide their link in the description below. In my opinion, Nick Van Owen is one of my favorite characters, probably because Vince Vaughn is awesome. And this is a role that Vince Vaughn had before he got really big time. You see that the figure with no hat variant is very accurate. It looks just like him. Not 100% like Vince Vaughn, but more so rather than the Eddie Carr figure. Might as well just get to that real quick. Eddie Carr doesn't look a thing like Eddie Carr. If I real quick had to say something negative about Nick Van Owen, his vest yellow, his shirt teal, not that movie accurate, but I mean neither is Eddie Carr. You can see the differences between all three of these figures. They're all different in color schemes, and all of them are differentiated and all look identified by their costume. That's why his teal and yellow is so crazy. He has pretty good detailing on the vest. So it looks like he has a flashlight. He's got a bunch of pouches. It's all like embeveled, engraved, and all that stuff. He's got a belt with some more pouches, even cooler. And then like the vest up top there. And it looks like some kind of radio communication thing with the back pouch there. Even a big ass machete. On the left side, he's got his cargo short pouch. Right side, same thing, and there's a smaller one up top. On his right leg, he has a strap for a knife, and his boots, which are beige brown, same color as the striping on the vest and the knife holder, and his gloves as well. Sight B on his left shoulder, marking that, you know, he's from the Lost World Jurassic Park, just like I'd say real quick a Jurassic Park. All of them have the JP badge to identify that they're from Jurassic Park. And you look at the figure, and Nick Van Owen, the figure is just ripped. Like, he has ridiculously huge biceps and triceps. Forearms are big as hell. And this dude is a big guy, even though Vince Vaughn in the film is, you know, just a regular skinny guy. So that's crazy how, like, this is the most buff dude that they gave us out of all the figures. But I really like this guy. So the figure kicks a lot of butt. There's 4 points of articulation. Arms look like they go 360. Legs go pretty much forward. And I'm not going to test them backward. They have this square cutoff that you really can't put them backward. Really nice detailing. They have the little pegs in the feet to put them on display stands. Just a phenomenal figure. And he's relatively cheap. I believe they go for around like $15, $16 complete. The one with the hat goes, I think, a little bit cheaper. So let's talk about the Pteranodon. This is the same color scheme as the giant Pteranodon, which is, in my opinion, a cool toy. It's not perfect, but I really like the paint scheme. And it's the same exact paint scheme from the film at the end when it perches on the log. And so it's really cool. All the Kenner guys always came with these little awesome dinosaurs. Like, here's the Muldoon Series 2 Raptor. These are really cool, these little babies. And it's always great to package them with a human. And I really like the Kenner ones more so than the Hasbro ones, because the Hasbro ones, for some reason, I just don't like the sculpts of the baby dinosaurs they included with them. This guy has rubber, flexible wings. I haven't, played with one of these or looked at the baby dinosaurs in a long time, but this is one of my favorites. It feels really nice. The paint job's really great. You see the fading from the blue onto the little off beige. It looks very nice. And of course, the yellow beak, just great paint job. The sculpt for this guy looks really nice too. You can see the detailing of his belly looks really great. This is a nice little looking figure, and he stands. So that's really awesome. I mean, there's no balancing issues here whatsoever. So it's really cool. It would be even cooler if you can somehow perch him on his shoulder there. That'd be funny. But maybe he can take a crap on Nick's head. Regardless, this is a really awesome set. I really like this. This is nice detailing. This is well worth like $15, $16, whatever they ask. So let's put on the matching color water to vest and straps, water jetpack thing here. You have holes in the bottom, and you put the corresponding holes. You got 3 options there. I'm gonna go middle for now, and then go underneath the arm. Do the same right here. It's just great engineering. So middle looks like it's good. All right, and then you get this, and it's already loaded. And yeah, all you gotta do is point where you want to do it. Let's do it at the Aquaspinosaurus. So all I gotta do is point it there, squeeze the yellow, and it should work. Yep, that works. All you gotta do to fill this guy up is pretty much running faucet. It's empty. Squeeze that to suck in the water, release, and it'll suck in the water to the yellow jetpack. You can spray your sister or whoever you want to spray it with. It also detaches. Boom, really cool. And the gun is actually really nicely detailed. Looks really nice. The best part is that it has ridges right here. And then the character can grip onto there. Can you hear that? That's nice. And yeah, this is just a really nice piece of engineering. Even the detailing on the jetpack itself. Ridges, so it grips onto the sides of the backpack. And really cool. You can pretty much grip your thumb right there in the middle of this dip. And then squeeze your stuff out. So really cool, even though Nick, doesn't obviously have any of these weapons in the film, but he does have his also included Camcorder Gun combo. You see the top is like a camcorder, the bottom is a gun, and somehow like the two are like together with this some kind of contraption that puts the two together there. You can see here the bottom, and it looks really funny. Here's your viewfinder. It's so funny. Looks like here's your microphone type deal. And then there's your, I guess your camera lens. I don't know what's up with this little ring there, but so that's funny. So let's put them all together. Boom, done. There's the set. These are these guys. So let's do a quick comparison of all the other Kenner dudes and some dinosaurs. So here we have my original Nick Van Owen that I owned for a while and was my pretty much mainstay Nick Van Owen, the high hide Nick Van Owen, which looks pretty cool. He's got his cargo pants and stuff, and he's got his long sleeve gray, so it looks more accurate than I'd say this guy. But this guy also has this huge hole for his little string backpack thing. I don't know, it's just not that cool, I'd say, compared to this dude. Is the head a little bit different? The head sculpt's a little bit different too. Look at that. Just a little bit. I don't know which one looks more like Vince Vaughn. Maybe high hide guy. But from the side, this one looks better. So both are really cool though. They both look great. But those are these guys. Who's taller? Looks like high hide, maybe a little bit taller. But that's cool. Right here, Eddie Carr. That's a nice little set. I like how Nick Van Owen's taller than Eddie Carr. That is cool. Very accurate. And Jeff Goldblum, I think, is like 6'2" or 6'3". I don't know. And here are these two guys. Looks really cool. And Nick Van Owen's taller. Very nice. Yeah, really cool stuff. Big iguanas. This looks pretty sweet. The Lost World Stegosaurus and the Nick Van Owen figure. I think kids have a great time playing with those two. There's like just even a Jurassic Park 3 figure, even though they all suck essentially. That's pretty cool. I think it works out really well. The good old Series 1. That looks pretty sweet. Lost World Chasmosaurus. That looks pretty awesome too. All this Lost World stuff works really well with one another. Young T-Rex and Nick looks really cool. I always wanted to own this dude, and now I have him, and this is actually a really cool playset. They have anything Lost World or dinosaurs with this Nick Van Owen. As crazy as this teal and yellow is, I really like it. Trike and Nick Van Owen looks a little bit crazier than the Stegosaurus, but it still looks really cool. Very Jurassic Park-like in my opinion. Very much in scale to one another. The Utah Raptor and Nick. It looks pretty cool, I guess. Alternate universe. The granddaddy of them all. That is quite the contrasting paint jobs. But it looks really cool. So what am I going to give this figure out of 10? Well, I think it's a very cool figure. Roughly 15 bucks. I really like the Pteranodon. I think the Nick Van Owen's head sculpt looks really cool. The vest and the whole costume itself really isn't that film accurate, but I actually really kind of like it. I like the contrast of the teal and the yellow. It's very different. I think it's pretty cool. And obviously the Series 2 one might be better, but that one's not that accurate either. So this one's far, far cheaper. I think that Series 2 on card's like $200, which is insane. Really, really cool water jetpack. Kids are gonna have a lot of fun with that. The gun is pretty funny, half camera, half gun. You never seen anything like that. The Pteranodon feels great. Like I already said, it's a really cool figure. And it's only like pretty much $5 over retail back in the day. I assume these are like $10 retail. I think it's actually a pretty cool deal, and if you want to get this guy, I'd recommend you picking him up, because me personally, I like Vince Vaughn, and Nick Van Owen is one of my favorite characters in the Lost World and whole Jurassic Park franchise. So I recommend you picking this guy up. Out of 10, what am I going to give him? Either a 7 or 8. I really can't decide between the two, to be honest with you. That's the first time ever I can't really decide a number. And yeah, guys, thanks for watching. If you want to buy him, you can go to SGZ Collectibles on eBay. Once again, link is in the description below. Thank you guys for watching. Have a good day. So like this video if you already have it down below, and click the subscribe button if you're not subscribed, because I have lots of videos coming, so stay tuned. Rawr.